Plenty of clubs have skittered down the divisions after dropping out of the Premier League, with 2008 FA Cup winners Portsmouth another example of a side starting to find their feet again in League One. Pompey suffered 3 relegations in 4 years from 2009 to 2013, facing Derby on their way down in the 2011-12 Championship campaign, with the Rams winning home and away that season. Portsmouth came out on top the last time the teams met, a League Cup tie in August 2015, remaining Derby's only trip to Fratton Park in the last decade. It's been Portsmouth's home for their entire history. Built in 1899, its Portsea Island location makes Fratton Park the only football ground in English professional football not to be built on the mainland. Derby were the opponents when the ground's attendance record was set back in February 1949. Over 52,000 saw the hosts progress in the FA Cup. Capacity these days stands at just under 20,000, with travelling fans, who in Derby's case will make a 7-hour round trip from Pride Park, housed in the Milton End. It was for a time the only roofless stand in the Premier League. A decade on from their last Championship appearance, Portsmouth are now in their 6th consecutive season in League One, though they haven't finished outside the top 10 since promotion in 2017. Hello and welcome to the preview show from RamsTV. Derby County are back out on the road tonight, playing their 6th game in just 18 days, and it's a toughie down at Portsmouth. The two sides are only separated by goal difference in the table. Portsmouth 5th in League One, Derby just a place behind. There's a chance the winner tonight could climb above Peterborough up to 4th. The loser could see themselves drop out of the top 6 by the end of the weekend, with Bolton and Barnsley just outside the playoff places. Derby have a game in hand on the top 4, Portsmouth have 2. You'll hear from both head coaches a little later in the programme. First, we've been talking to a man who has very fond memories of his only trip to Fratton Park before. Conor Hourihane has also been telling us how he's been coping with the Rams' hectic schedule.
Yeah, not too bad. It's been pretty relentless. A lot of away games, another one tomorrow night. But look, I think if you ask any player, they'd rather have more games than more training sessions. So, the more games that come our way, yes, it's more challenging on the squad, but as a player, you want to be involved in as many games as possible. So, it's been a busy time, but a brilliant time as well.
We've heard from a couple of the boys about how they spend their time travelling, a lot of time together, a lot of time on the coach. How are you spending the time?
There's a few of us who play cards. I suppose that's not the best thing to say straight away, but there's a few of us who play cards, and then I'm doing a bit of coaching at the minute, so the couple of hours that I get in, maybe back in the room, then I'm concentrating on that and looking at that side of the game, because it's something I'm very passionate about. So they're probably the 2 things that I do most.
Is that something you've always wanted to do, coaching?
Yeah, I think over the last couple of years, probably since COVID, getting that little bit older, I started my badges. I've completed the B licence, started my A licence in January. It's something that I want to definitely go into the more I get and when I retire, and something that I'm passionate about. So it's slowly but surely setting myself up for that.
Is it? I know it's football based still, but is it nice to have something to maybe take your mind away from the day job?
Yeah, it is a little bit. I suppose it's more just, like I said, setting myself up. I think as I get older, I hear a lot of people say, make sure you're ready when you finish. I know, look, I'm only 31, I'm nearly 32, but I'm still one of them guys that I like to be really organised and ready for whatever I'm going to. When I started my badges, I was probably a bit anxious and worried would I like it, because it's something I never dipped my toe into before, coaching side of it, but I've absolutely loved it. become a bit obsessed with it, if I'm being totally honest with you. But it's something that I'm excited for and just preparing for as the years go on.
We'll bring things back to sort of the playing side of things. You've quietly put together a very good run at the moment, haven't you?
Yeah, we've done okay. I think there's been that change and shift from managers, which isn't easy. 2 different styles of play. It takes a little bit of time. We've had a lot of injuries. But I know the manager and the staff would like to maybe get on the training pitch a little bit more. But like you just said, the schedule is that intense that we haven't really had the chance. So we've maybe been suffering in games a little bit when the gaffer wants us to do certain things or whatever. But the more games have come on and the more the lads know the ideas, I think we're going in the right direction. I think more than getting work done on the training pitch, it's more kind of analysing it in the classroom and him letting us know what he wants a little bit more of, what we're doing well. And like I said, slowly but surely, I think we're getting there.
With your sort of coaching aspirations, do you look at the sessions that you do with the coaches in a slightly different way now?
Yeah, a little bit. I've just started, I suppose, probably since this summer with Liam and into Paul, kind of anything that I've liked, any training sessions that I've liked, any meeting that I've liked, I've kind of logged this. So I can go back and look in it on the good things that I liked as a player, and then hopefully one day if I become a coach or whatever, I'd like to the players hopefully like the things that I liked or whatever it may be. So I think logging things that I like as a player is important for future reference, because I think the brain can only take in so much. You forget a lot of things, so I think logging it down is important.
A test for you on Friday night away at Portsmouth. What are you expecting from it?
Yeah, really tough game. Look, they're going well, of course. They're just above us in the league. Fratton Park at any stage of the season is difficult. Obviously, Friday night, Sky under the lights is going to add that little bit more extra spice. So it's going to be a very good game. Like I said in the previous interview, there's no Championship and Premiership now at the minute. Everyone's waiting for the World Cup, so there'll be a few more eyes watching as well with the only football that's on at the minute. So no, it's going to be a really good one, one that would be enjoyable to play in, and hopefully we'll come out on the top.
And we were just talking before about your previous visits to Fratton Park. We think there's only one, and you had a decent day.
Yeah, it was 3-3, bit of a mad game, last game of the season. Scored a couple, which is always nice. And Plymouth and Portsmouth kind of have that derby going on. I think it's the Dockyard Derby they call it. And Plymouth being a big club, and Portsmouth obviously it was a sold out, really sunny day, which I don't think it's going to be tomorrow night. But similar to Derby, bringing down the big away following, selling out the away end, they'll probably sell out the home end, no doubt, and it just makes for a really good game.
And that's Derby midfielder Conor Hourihane, who is yet to score under Paul Warne. I know he's desperate for his mug. More on that a little bit later. Now, Portsmouth have consistently finished in the top 10 of League One since returning to the division 5 years ago. And it looks as though they'll be in the mix again this season, 5th going into tonight's game. Their head coach Danny Cowley says they've prepared well for it.
Yeah, I think it's been good. We've had some challenging weather. It's been particularly stormy on the south coast this week, and our training ground's been underwater at times, but we've been able to kind of navigate around it and still been able to do the work that we've needed to. And yeah, I think we're in a good place going into tomorrow night. The game's a day earlier, it's on the Friday instead of the Saturday, so how does that alter your schedule for the week? Yeah, just slight tweaks really. We've been in all week. I think it's given us, good time to get the balance between getting on the grass, working on some corrections from the weekend's game against Morecambe, and then also looking at Derby. I think we've had a good look at them now. We had the opportunity to watch them on Tuesday night at Torquay, and yeah, we feel that we're in a good place to attack the game tomorrow night. There was a couple of concerns off the back of the Morecambe game. Have those players come out the other side of any injuries? Yeah, well, we obviously lost Clark during the game and Zach Swanson. We're hopeful that they will be available come tomorrow night. We've also got one or two others that are on the treatment table as well, which has been challenging and frustrating in kind of equal measure. But yeah, we're hopeful that we'll have one or two back for tomorrow evening. And yeah, for us, it's a game that, like I said, that we're really looking forward to. Yeah, it's Pompey versus Derby, which was a Premier League fixture not so long ago, which shows just how much of a high-profile game this is. Yeah, brilliant game. I think for League One, for English football, really. Obviously, going into this weekend, we know the eyes of the nation will be on us because there's no Premier League and no Championship games. And obviously, the World Cup is just about to start. So I think it's a great game for lower league football. Was really pleased to see Derby come out of their troubles this summer. I was really concerned for them for a while. They're such a brilliantly supported club. And there was a real worry for them, but it's great to see them under new ownership. They've certainly made League One a lot tougher. I think as soon as they were bought, they showed their intent with some of the signings that they made in the summer. I think they have some Championship and even Premier League experience within their group. And obviously in Paul Warne, a manager that has won promotion from this division on 3 occasions.
Yeah, as you said there, Paul Warne's come in. They've undergone a bit of a transformation recently. What are you expecting from them on the pitch?
Well, we know that they will be a really fit team. I think Paul Warne's team's always fit. We know that they will press with real energy and intensity and be very, very aggressive in that moment. And in possession, I think they have some top players at this level. I think they have some real pace in wide areas. They're very good at turning defence into attack with the likes of Dobbin, Osula, Mendes Lang, all boys that transition the ball up the pitch very, very quickly. I think they have goal threat in Collins and McGoldrick. And yeah, some real good quality in midfield with the likes of Hourihane and Bird. So yeah, some really good players. We know that we will need to be at our very, very best to get a positive result, but we also know that we love playing at Fratton Park. I think 21 unbeaten for us at home now. It's a record that we're really, really proud of. I think it says a lot about the consistency that we've been able to find. And we know that with our supporters, it never feels like 11v11. So hopefully we will see the best, not just in our players, but also in our supporters, and it'll be a really good night come tomorrow evening. Yeah,
as you said at the end there, our supporters, the game was confirmed as sold out earlier. We're under the lights and it's live on Sky Sports. So how excited are you to be back at Fratton Park tomorrow?
Yeah, it doesn't get better than that. It's always a privilege to play at Fratton Park. I think for me it's such a special place to play football. As I said, we're really proud of our home form. And we know what the game will mean to our supporters. It's always lovely to get in front of the fixtures and play on a Friday, particularly if you can find that win. And we know that a really good performance and a good outcome will set the whole of Portsmouth up for what should be a really good weekend.
Well, that's Danny Cowley, and he's right, Portsmouth are on an unbeaten run that stretches all the way back to January at home when they lost 2-1 to Charlton. They've only lost twice in the league this season so far, but their pace has definitely slowed over the last couple of months. After winning 6 of their opening 10 games, they've won just 1 of their last 7, and their last 3 league games have all been 1-1 draws, including Saturday's trip to Morecambe, where Colby Bishop's second half equaliser earned them a point. No midweek break for Derby, of course, who were busy getting past Torquay in that FA Cup first round replay at Pride Park on Tuesday night. Can you believe it is still just 7 weeks since Paul Warne took charge of the Rams for the first time? How time flies. Well, we've heard all about the win wall, his why wall, and the mugs that players get when they score their first goal for the head coach. He's been telling us how his plans to build the culture at Moor Farm are going.
I mean, there's no right or wrong, is there? It's just, this is how I like a football club to be. In the same way as they already know how the culture will be in the summer, how pre-season will look. They're already terrified by that, which is always enjoyable for me. And the mugs are just a little thing. I can walk past someone in a minute in the refectory who's got a paper cup. I can have a go at them for not helping the environment. And I can have a go at them for not scoring any goals. So it just adds to the banter and the fun of the place. I don't know, but like today, I've got to give Tomo his mug. So that'd be good. I was going to make a joke then, but I can't. But you just want the lads to enjoy being here, because if they're here, then they've got more chance that they'll want to listen to you, and they're doing more work, and they're concerned and care about the people who are here, be it the washerwomen or kit men or I'm just odd job man who's a ledge. It's just that whole thing. You just want the people to enjoy coming into work, whatever job you do, and if they're coming in because they want to win a £6 mug, then great.
It's been another busy week, busy month, even longer back than that, really. How are the energy levels for you and for the boys in the room?
I think for the lads, I don't know, actually. I'm just probably lying. I think for the lads, it's not as bad as it is for the coaches. I know that sounds crazy, but when they do leave here, they can disengage their brains a little bit. When we leave here, we can't disengage our brains. We need to prepare for the next one all the time. I think for some of them, like especially the physically resilient ones, like the birdies and that, just playing a game every 3 or 4 days doesn't really touch the sides with him. I think for the Dad's Army, it might hit him a bit harder, really.
It's exactly, or will be exactly 4 weeks since you went to Ipswich on the Friday night, and that game was talked about as maybe a test to see the progress that you were making. Do you look at the game at Portsmouth in a similar sort of way?
Yeah, I think you're right. I personally, we went into the game thinking, right, we'll see where we are, because Ipswich were like the out and out. Them and Plymouth really the two outstanding teams. So, and in that game, look, we limited them to very few chances, but we created 0. So it was sort of like, look, we're not doing too bad, but we're still a way off. This game is similar, I think, you're right, and it's a very difficult place to go. I took a team there last year and we were flying and we got a right good crack. So it will be interesting to see where we're at. Obviously, it's amazing you said only a month ago. Feels like 3 months that. But yeah, it will be a good test. I know, they'll obviously want to, do well against us. 2 big teams, 2 big traditions, 2 big histories, the usual thing. But it just comes down to 22 lads on the pitch at any one time, as long as we don't get someone sent off. So it will just come down to that, and hopefully we'll have enough to cause them problems. They will definitely cause us problems because they're a really good possession-based team that create chances, but I think we'll cause them some. So we'll know more about us as a group and where we need to strengthen. Come 11 o'clock Friday night, I think.
There he is, Derby boss Paul Warne. Portsmouth and Derby get the League One weekend started tonight. Ipswich visit Exeter in the lunchtime game tomorrow. Leaders Plymouth visit struggling Burton Albion. Peterborough are at Bristol Rovers, and Sheffield Wednesday welcome Shrewsbury. That's all from the preview show. We're back with Matchday Live on RamsTV from 7:30 tonight. The game is available to watch overseas. Go to the website dcfc.co.uk to get your match pass now. Goodbye.